when I first started with IrisHouse, Hubby said to me once, "Do you think there is a need?" I said, "Well, there must be a need. There has to be. There are special need kids all over the world, any culture, any creed, that they're there." And okay, well, we now know that's definitely the case. In fact, a little too much. With as big as we got, as quick as we got, but it's because you don't see them that the problem is sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like hidden.
I say they get treated like door stoppers. That's my word. You pass them. You pet them.
Yeah.
But you don't really.
But you don't interact. There's none of that.
You don't really look at them and think. And I said I learned this from Zia being a normal child. I said whenever we walked to Clicks, I won't forget it, at in one city. You know, they would sit by the door and they'll be inside and they'll have a tin. And I would look at them, and he used to love doing the whole money thing, you know, like any child, because I'm going to get a sticker or... And I never ever had the same approach because my child was normal. I was not in that situation. I felt sorry. I even felt too sad to look at the person. And I would say to him, "You do it. You go and throw the money in," until I was in the position. So I've had both. So I can see I was that person who used to look at people, and I felt sorry. It's not to say people are not concerned or compassionate, but they don't really understand. No. There's no way that you can even expect them to understand.
No.
I don't think unless you take them and you take them for a tour, or you spend a day with a mother like that, or you know, things like that, because this is the first time I learned it. I've never ever thought about it before. I've seen kids like this even in the hospital when he used to go, and I just, you know, you look at them and you're so sore, you don't want to rather look, and you don't even want to wonder what happened to their child. You don't even want to really ask about it. So you just pass by and it'll play in your head. That's it. And that is human nature.
Yeah.
Until my child became one. And then I was like frustrated and angry because, you know, people would stare and people would look and nobody would say anything or walk up to him. I'm thinking, this child is human. Because I knew my child before and after. And so what's the difference between him and a child that was born with cerebral palsy? So, it has been an emotional roller coaster. I feel like I am 3 times my age. In wisdom.
Don't look at my darling.
Not even in tiredness, but in wisdom of what you learn. It's sad.
You do.
It's really a sad road that you take when you actually go through this and see what this inner world is about.
It is. It's a completely different world out there now. You're right. Unless you get a glimpse into it, I think that's another reason we want to do these type of interviews. Is people need to understand. It's not. You have to see it to believe it. You know. So pictures speak 1,000 words, and that's exactly what it is.
You have to just.
It's a huge adaptation.
I say a lot of people, you know, when I used to tell them at work about Zia, then they used to say it's a shame and this, until they saw him. Actually, just had a look, physical, immediate contact with him, and they said, "I never could imagine this was what you were talking about." When I told them, you will never understand what it takes to take care of him and the limitations there until they saw him, and they couldn't believe it. And they said to me, "How do you do it?" And I said, people keep on saying, "You're so strong." I said, "No, it's not that. If it's your child, if you have passion for this, if you're in this working industry, you will do it."
Yes. Yeah.
Before, when I didn't have such a child, I don't know if I would have ever done it, or ever turned around and patted another child like Zia. But now I would, because I'm so exposed, and my child belongs to that community. I have a normal life, and I also have a cerebral palsy life. That is just the way it is.
Yeah, and you're right. It is 2 different communities.
It's different hearts. It comes from different points of view from the heart. I mean, I took a very long time to accept
Come to terms with it.
Even accept it. I couldn't handle going to the art school plays at friends. I couldn't handle being around the functions. I was there because I wanted to be with my child, but I wasn't quite there. I was angry, I was frustrated, because my child is different. You have to get used to that.
It's a form of loss. It's a form of grief.
I think I said it's the worse than death for me. It was worse than death. That is what I felt like, because it's like they gave me someone else back. That is how I either felt. I mean, if he was probably born like it, it wouldn't have been that different for me. But the changeover was. I mean, he was a big child. He knew what he wanted to become one day. He had all, we had a lifetime in 5 years with him. He was an adult already. He had all his first house, first day of school, first day of creche, first day of everything. So it was very difficult to have to see a sports day, a simple sports day with him. It's like I just went into a depression. I was there with him because I wanted to be there with him and this is his new life, but I didn't quite accept it. I didn't even interact with the different parents. He was more involved with the teachers because I couldn't really get myself there. Until over the years you get so forced. This is what you have to, because it's someone as close as your child. You don't have a choice. And you can understand that. So I say I don't even expect other people to quite understand what it's about.
They need to come spend a day with IrisHouse.
I said that's why people need to tour these places.
They do.
They need to sit with these kids, see what they have to go through, just to be able to, like simple things. Like, I mean, I say we wake up and we just, we breathe. 90% of these kids struggle to breathe all the time.
Every breath is a battle. Yep.
And I mean, I had to get over the fact that how is it possible that my child had breathed properly is all of a sudden struggling, and my child could sit, can't even sit. I had to go through those kind of changes.
Yeah, which are huge.
That's why I said if a child was born that way, and because the was so severe, because they always, with every diagnosis, it's severe scoliosis, severe apnea, because everything of him, because it's hypoxic, it's like deadly.
Yeah.
Everything is deadly. And I think that all to accept that, and all I wanted was to get out of the hospital and go home. Just give me my child, yes you've missed him, give me my child, let me go home.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize the road. Afterwards, I cut Red Cross off completely for like a year. I refused any of the therapies. I didn't want to go back there. I took Ziad everywhere else for different kinds of therapies, massages every Saturday, whatever it took to keep him comfortable. But I was forced right back there because my child is now cerebral palsy. There's nothing I can do about it. There's certain things that we will have to do at the hospital. There's certain places I would have to interact with to get him into the swing of those kind of
that world.
Yes. It's like your life changes.
Completely. I must send you, there's a poem called I must send you. It explains exactly what you're saying. And it's very well known in our circles.
It's like, it's like having a baby all over again, getting to know him and getting to connect with him and all of that. And I must say, my kids have been amazing. I was always worried about them, but funny enough, they adapted so quickly. Only middle one is quite still not happy. He thinks his brother's going to have his miraculous recovery. That is in his mind. He refuses to believe they handle it right. But they become his little almost like what do I always say? They like carers. When Fuad was 2-3 years old, if Ziad's pipe was hanging out, he would like scream like maniac, "Mommy," because he knew that it was important. It's hanging out. Little one is so small, he knows not to pull it. Even the way that he will play with him is different. This more sensitive, more softer. They make him such a part of their life, even though he's not active. I actually struggle to get the other one to be more normal, because he's got a normal side. He has to remember that he's not just the brother, he's a normal family. And that we're struggling with.
You'll be happy to know we've got a wonderful lady joining us who is only going to work with our siblings. Only the siblings. She's a qualified play therapist, and she is just awesome with kids.
Because that is exactly what they said he needs, is a play therapist. Not just because of Ziad's condition, but just support gently. Because yes, he's a never mind and he's a little bit of a rough and ready, but I know things about him that I just don't like.
Yeah.
That is taking him away from the real world.
Yeah. So
and he cannot be, I can be like that because I'm an adult, I'm the mother, but he can't grow up like that. He needs to have an understanding that he has to do. I had to separate myself between them. I had to be with him, but there's certain things that I have to do with them that he can't do.
Yep.
And I actually say to myself, Ziad has to now stay by his daddy. But now my children don't allow me because they want their brother with him. They're not there at that point. So that's where the play therapy, they said they need to explain
Charmaine will be
because
involved.
he's obsessive. But I think the doctor says to me something happened between the two of them, because when Ziad was in a coma, nothing could bring him out. He was on life support, not breathing. We tried the school on the phone singing to him. We tried different people coming in. We had objects putting in his hand because he was not showing anything. And they said to me, and he was about his age, and they said to me, let us just bring him in every night for 5 minutes and let him just lie on him. And lo and behold, 2 weeks later, the child started breathing. So they said something.
There's a connection.
There's a connection. They
Yeah.
said they actually said to me, there's something more close than you and he have as a mother and a child. They have a bigger connection,
Yeah,
and he's
and
very
a bond.
protective. Very, very protective. He positions himself in his brother's arms, and to him this is his big brother. It's not a baby, it's a big brother. Still. But we need to still support that mind frame,
Sure.
because you can get lost. It happened to me when I was at home with Ziad for 8 months. Without working and doing normal things, I became obsessed. I didn't matter what I looked like, whatever. It was just all about Ziad. You know, constant stimulation for Ziad, laying by Ziad, doing this. You sort of don't live anymore.
No, you stop living and you isolate yourself.
Yes. And so when they heard that I got the job offer to come back, everybody was like, just go back, because it will give you a bit of normalcy.
But normality
I wasn't
again.
interacting with people, nothing.
No, that was the right move.
And I had to separate a little bit from him. You have to. You have to, otherwise it will make you crazy
It would.
emotionally.
It would.
And it was very difficult for me because he was alone with me for 5 days, and within 8 hours here, he's not anymore the same child. Just 8 hours it took, and all of a sudden he's not the same child. I can't speak to him, it made me crazy because I spoke to you for 5 years, you were the only child I spoke to. And as I learned, and I became obsessed, and paranoid, but then I became tired of myself, and I realized I need my own mind also sometimes. It's okay to let him be with someone else, or it's okay to not
take a break.
let him moan
Yeah.
a bit, because I was like, see, I just would run, then I'm there, and then I'm looking what is wrong, and I learned it from my husband actually, because he's more laid back. We would say that he's just moaning, and because he's strengthening his vocals or whatever the case may be. I forgot he's just a child. He's not a object all the time that I have to. Every time he moves this way, I have to go and move him back. Or
Well, you've done a fantastic job with it, Marge. You know you have. And as I say, hopefully we can get open soon, and then you'll know he's somewhere nice, with a nice adjoining room for you and Dad, and you want to come and stay.